Hello everyone, and welcome to Spectral Stories, your ultimate destination for chilling horror stories and compelling sci-fi tales. Let's get started. The Thompson family decided to take a break from their hectic city life and go on a road trip. Jim and Emily, along with their children, Lily and Sam, piled into their car and set off for a week-long adventure. Their destination was a secluded cabin in the mountains, far from the hustle and bustle of their everyday lives. As they drove through the winding mountain roads, the car suddenly sputtered and came to a stop. Jim tried to restart the engine, but it refused to cooperate. Frustrated and a bit anxious, they decided to look for help. In the distance, they spotted a small village nestled in a valley, its rooftops barely visible through the dense forest. "Let's head there," Jim suggested. "Maybe someone can help us with the car." The family grabbed their belongings and made their way down the path to the village. As they approached, they noticed an eerie silence hanging over the place. There were no sounds of people talking, no children playing, not even the rustling of animals. It was as if the village itself was holding its breath. They entered the village and saw people going about their daily routines, but something was off. The villagers moved with a mechanical precision, their faces devoid of emotion. They glanced at the Thompsons with wide, fearful eyes but didn't utter a single word. "Excuse me," Jim called out to a man passing by. "Our car broke down. Can you help us?" The man paused, his eyes filled with sorrow, and shook his head. He pointed to his throat and mimed zipping his lips shut. Jim and Emily exchanged confused looks. "Let's find someone else," Emily said, trying to stay positive. They approached an elderly woman sitting on a bench. Emily tried to communicate, but the woman simply shook her head and pointed toward a large, ancient-looking building at the center of the village. "Maybe we should go there," Sam suggested, his curiosity piqued. As they walked towards the building, they noticed symbols and strange markings on the walls of the houses. Lily, who had a keen interest in folklore, recognized some of the symbols from a book she had read. "These are protection symbols," Lily whispered. "But why would they need them?" They reached the building, which appeared to be a town hall. Inside, they found a dusty, dimly lit room filled with old books and scrolls. At the far end of the room, a large portrait of a stern-looking woman hung on the wall. Beneath it was an inscription, "Eliza Blackwood, 1867. As they examined the room, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an elderly man with a long white beard and deep-set eyes that seemed to hold the weight of many years. "Welcome, strangers," he said in a raspy voice. "I am the keeper of stories. You must be wondering about our village." The Thompsons nodded, relieved to finally find someone who could speak. "This village is under a curse," the keeper began. "Many years ago, Eliza Blackwood, a powerful witch, lived here. She was wronged by the villagers, and in her anger, she cast a spell that took away their voices, condemning them to live in silence. Over the years, many have tried to break the curse, but none have succeeded." "Why haven't you lost your voice?" Jim asked. "I am protected by my role as the keeper of stories," the old man explained. "It is my duty to pass on the tale of the curse to anyone who might come here. You see, the only way to break the curse is to find Eliza's hidden grimoire and perform a counterspell. But the book has been lost for generations. Do you have any idea where it might be?" Emily asked, determined to help. "The last I heard, it was hidden in the forest, in the ruins of Eliza's old cabin," the keeper said. "But beware, the forest is dangerous, and Eliza's spirit still lingers, protecting her secrets." Despite the danger, the Thompsons decided to search for the grimoire. They gathered supplies and set off into the forest, guided by the keeper's directions. The deeper they ventured, the darker and more oppressive the forest became. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and a chilling wind whispered through the trees. After hours of searching, they stumbled upon the ruins of an old cabin, overgrown with vines and moss. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay. In the center of the room lay a large, ornate chest covered in dust and cobwebs. "This must be it," Sam said, his voice trembling with excitement and fear. Jim carefully opened the chest, revealing an ancient, leather-bound book with a dark, ominous aura. The grimoire. As soon as they touched it, a cold, ghostly presence filled the room. Eliza's spirit materialized before them, her eyes burning with anger. "Who dares disturb my resting place?" she hissed, her voice echoing through the cabin. "We seek to end the curse and free the villagers," Emily said, standing her ground. Eliza's spirit loomed closer, her expression softening slightly. "If you wish to break the curse, you must prove your worth. Show me that you possess the courage and compassion that the villagers lacked." Eliza raised her hand, and the room was filled with a blinding light. When it faded, the Thompsons found themselves back in the village, the grimoire still in their hands. The villagers gathered around them, their eyes filled with hope and desperation. Lily opened the grimoire and found the counterspell. Following the instructions carefully, the family performed the ritual, chanting the ancient words. The air crackled with energy, and the symbols on the village walls glowed with a bright light. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind swept through the village, and the villagers clutched their throats, gasping for air. Then, one by one, they began to speak, their voices returning after so many years of silence. "We did it," Jim said, smiling at his family. "We broke the curse." The villagers cheered, their gratitude overwhelming. The keeper of stories approached them, tears of joy in his eyes. "You have done what many could not," he said. "Thank you for freeing us." As the sun set over the village, the Thompsons were treated to a feast in their honor. The once silent village was now filled with laughter and music, a place of life and joy once more. The next morning, the family prepared to leave. The villagers bid them farewell, their voices ringing with gratitude. As they walked back to their car, they felt a sense of accomplishment and connection to the village that they would never forget. The car started without a hitch, and as they drove away, they saw the villagers waving, their voices carrying through the crisp mountain air. The Thompsons knew that they had not only broken a curse but had also restored hope and happiness to a place that had been shrouded in silence and sorrow for far too long.